Well, Matt, so far in 2011, this dude has been the most productive rookie in baseball. 11 home runs, 12 doubles, 29 ribbies through 2 months. I mean, he's projected to hit 30 homers this season, but the Angels, they're struggling. They've dropped 5 straight, 7 of their last 8. Today is a golden day off, and then the KC Royals coming to the Big A for a weekend series. We welcome the blossoming Mark Trumbo, straight out of Villa Park, a proud Spartan, to the Petros and Money Show right here on AM 570 KLAC, Fox Sports LA. What's cracking, Trumbo?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me.
Now, you're signing autographs this Saturday at the OC Dugout from 9:30 a.m. That's an early wake-up, to noon. And then he's going to be raffling off a game-used bat. So that's exciting. Now, Trumbo, what were you expecting from your first 2 months? And explain how Kendry Morales' misfortune has really played into your opportunity. I guess that's just the way things work.
Yeah, I guess going back to spring training, I didn't really know what his status was, how far along he was. I saw him a little in the off season, and it looked like he was maybe coming around a little slow. But I knew in spring that whether he was healthy or not, it was my I had an opportunity. Whether it be to back him up and play some outfield or maybe get some substantial time at first base. Yeah, and so in spring I just tried to make the most out of it and had some productive at bats, and I guess I did well enough that they thought that I had earned the shot to start the season at first, and I've been lucky to get the playing time and the opportunities that I have.
Now, because you had such a remarkable season at Salt Lake, did you feel like there was any question that you were going to be part of the big league club? Did you feel like you had something to show in spring training, or were you pretty comfortable that you were going to make it?
No, I wasn't comfortable. It's one thing to put numbers up in the minor leagues, but I think it's a big difference, sometimes playing against these established major league pitchers up here. And in spring, I think you get a good opportunity to show that, that you are ready or that maybe you're not ready, based on how you do against the guys that have done it up here for a while.
Mark Trumbo with us. It's Petros and Money here on AM 570 KLAC, Fox Sports LA. I mentioned that season at Salt Lake, and we had heard when you were down there about the prodigious power of Mark Trumbo and some of those bombs you were hitting, 500-foot bombs in the minor leagues. You still have it. I mean, you still have that kind of Adam Dunn-like thunderous swing with massive bombs. Is that hard to carry over? How much better, how harder are those home runs to hit on this level?
For me, the distance of home runs and stuff like that, it's kind of cool, but it doesn't really factor. If it goes over by a foot or 100 feet, it doesn't matter to me. It depends on, if you get a good pitch to hit and you're selective enough to find something you can work with, and that's what I'm working to get better at right now.
You look down there now, and there's a lot of conversation about Trout and whether or not he can come up, and they're trying to project his numbers versus what he might be able to do on this level. What do you say to those that say, yeah, let's bring him up? It looks like he's doing great at Arkansas. How hard is it to project that to the next level?
I think it's very hard. Coming up to the minor leagues, I know there were times I felt that, hopefully, maybe I could go up there and compete at this level, but I think it was for the best that I got to experience all the stops that I did and play full seasons in certain situations and learn like that. He's an unbelievable talent. I've seen him, quite a bit now, and maybe he is ready. It's just you can't really tell until he's up here actually experiencing it, and that's why we have an outstanding organization, and they're going to make the decisions that count.
In the city of commerce, they call him Trumbito. Mark Trumbo joining us right now on the Petros and Money Show. Now, when you were a sophomore at Villa Park High School, Socia's Angels were winning the 2002 World Series. How big of a fan were you, and who were your favorite Angels? Was it Salmon and the Gloss Boss?
Yeah, I think 93 was the first year that I really remember going to a lot of games, and that was Salmon's rookie year. So he was my favorite Angel by far growing up, and I used to love going to those games. And then in 2002 when they won it, I was lucky enough. I went to a few of the games. I didn't go to any of the World Series games, but I definitely followed very closely, and I was, just as happy as anyone when they were able to do that.
So what's it like now playing home games with all your Villa Park boys badgering you for freebies every night and being right in your hometown? I mean, you know that freeway.
Yeah, no, you don't need to tell me how to get to the field. It's been cool. It really has. More than anything, just having my family able to come to all the games and coming through the minor leagues, it doesn't always happen, but here it's been awesome, and I try and keep all the the requests and everything at bay, but it's been fun.
Certainly baseball's changed the last 15, maybe 20 years, where there's a lot bigger players in the game now than there was in the 80s. Have you always been bigger than the competition, than your contemporaries and the guys you were playing with? Did you have a growth spurt? Were you that kid at like 8 years old in Little League playing against the 11-year-olds and hitting better than all of them?
Yeah, I wouldn't say any dramatic growth spurt. Pretty consistent, as far as that goes. But, I think I was always, I remember being younger playing against older competition. I think that's one thing my dad really, enjoyed, and I think I was better for it. Just always, challenging myself against guys that maybe are a little older and stronger, and finding a way to get it done on that level.
We always talk about chemistry and how important it is, and a leader in the dugout, in the clubhouse. It seems like there might not be a better guy in baseball than Torrey Hunter to lead by example, to have someone to show you the ropes. What's it like playing with Torrey? What kind of relationship do you have with him?
Torrey's been unbelievable to me and to everyone on the team. He really is the definition of a leader. He takes a lot of the responsibilities and puts them on his back, and he's always available for me. I run stuff by him all the time, and he's always open, even no matter what mood he's in. He's always available to talk to, and it's a real joy to be able to play with him and learn from him.
Are you living with your parents, or did you take over Jared Weaver's lease on that apartment? I mean, where are you laying it down?
Yeah, I live pretty close to the stadium. I got a condo, as do quite a few of the guys, and we're just kind of hanging out nearby.
Now, your dad's an SC alum, right? You were almost a proud Trojan?
Yeah, that's correct.
Now, what happened, man?
I was going to go to SC when Gillespie was there. I was going to do some pitching, too, if you can believe it. But the Angels, I got drafted by the Angels kind of late, and it was kind of an interesting deal how it worked out. And it went to the final hour. I think I already had books, and I was all ready to go to school, and they came with an offer that was, kind of hard to refuse at that point. But I was all set to go, and I was excited to go, and they treated me awesome.
Yeah, and I bet you didn't get full value back on those books either.
I don't think so.
No.
but hang with them. That's just one of those deals. But.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed one of those deals. Now, how difficult have the last 10 days been? I mean, how is the team handling this 5-game losing streak? What does Soch tell the team, or does he say anything?
We've tried a couple different things. We didn't hit batting practice yesterday, and it's just nobody can really figure it out. Obviously, we're struggling with runners in scoring position, and with something like that, I think it can get worse. The more you talk about it, the more you dwell on it, because then you really start to think about it. So I think if we come out, and it'd be nice to start scoring some runs earlier in the game. To get some pressure off early, just really work on the small things, the execution, the bunts, the hit and run, stuff like that. And I think with enough of that, things will kind of take care of themselves, and then we can, free up a little bit and start playing like we know we're capable of.
Mark Trumbo with us here. Mark, is a baseball swing like a golf swing, where guys are kind of always tinkering, especially with their drives, and trying to find that power? When you have a power swing, can you kind of tweak it a little bit, or is it what it is?
Yeah, I mean, you're always making adjustments. I've changed things multiple times this year already. And it's just kind of what feels good on that day, or what you feel maybe a little out of whack, and what you can do to fix it. Because there's nothing's set in stone, and you don't need to stick with one swing and this set of mechanics, or at least that's my viewpoint on it. You want to keep everything similar and not change anything drastically. But I'm never afraid to make some adjustments here and there, even mid at bat sometimes, if I feel like something's maybe not where it should be.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Villa Park Spartans out at the OC dugout this Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to noon. Trumbo, who hits the Trumbombs, is going to be there signing autographs. They're going to raffle off a game-used bat, too. The OC dugout, 1238 South Beach Boulevard in Anaheim, California. Trumbo, man, thanks for coming on your day off, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
There he is, Trumbito.